Hello. It's fucking hot. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, you're already seeing this. If you're wondering why I haven't been live for a little while, it's because I cut my finger quite deeply. And, yeah, but I can play video games now. That's, yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, so it's gone from 19 people to 17, which is somewhat unfortunate, but of course, now it's 18, and Merzing wants to hunt with casuals. I've been informed that, well, perhaps not this person. There's another it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into that. Hello everyone, it's me Doomlink, and I'd like to welcome you all back to the Doomlink's Life Hunt series. It is part 216 as I recall, and we are here playing Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I'm not going to dither, I'm going to get straight into this room, because if I don't go straight into it, you never know, I may actually lose my opportunity to either join it or depart on the next quest. So the sooner the better. I have a means of hydration. I think I just lost my opportunity. Which is to say, these people have departed on a quest, and I am quite... Oh no, apparently the host is sitting here alone, presumably AFK, because I don't see any other reason. Well, there are other reasons why. Maybe people had departed without the room host, but I'm just going to assume that the current situation is that Merzing, who has 33 resource points, is AFK, and these people are just hunting without him, because why stick around for a person who's not coming back? It's a little awkward, though, because I would, you know, ideally like to hunt with a full group, and it is also awkward in a game like this, where the room hosts can actually dictate whether or not the entire room closes. It's awkward to have a room host that is a little unreliable. Can't speak today. But yeah, brief update. I can play video games now. It's been a little bit awkward. Today is actually the release day of Hogwarts Legacy, but it's a little bit awkward to play. I've had 2 days early access for that game because I got the digital deluxe edition, but the thing is, it's a little awkward to play mouse and keyboard with this. I can do it, but it's not entirely comfortable. Furthermore, I installed the game on a somewhat old hard disk drive, and consequently it's loading quite slowly, so I'm not enjoying playing the game as much as I could be at the moment, so I'm just going to relax a little bit. I've got 2 achievements in the game, so I've marked dates of when, you know, I actually started playing the game, and that's good enough for me. So I think I'll be returning to that game later. It's, you know, I'm choosing to stream this game and not Hogwarts Legacy because, well, not because I'm avoiding streaming it in any way. It's because A, it's a little awkward to play, and B, I can't really record modern PC games, unfortunately, because I don't have a streaming PC. If I'm going to be streaming off my PC, which is what I do, it needs to be a game that really has minimal, or places minimal strain on the PC itself. And that is not a way in which I would describe Hogwarts Legacy on a machine, top end or otherwise, from 2017, which is what my PC is. Do I have Elden Ring? Asks Cavenator in the chat. Yes, I do. I certainly have Elden Ring. In fact, I remarked upon this point in my Discord a few days ago. I'm surprised that I've actually ended up buying 2 years in a row the big game of the year. That's not something I would typically do, but both Elden Ring and Hogwarts Legacy were games that I was interested in, so I picked them both up. You beat it like 4 times, well, I'm happy to hear that. The situation here... Well, actually, no, I don't have any reason to believe that these people had just departed before I joined the room, because you see, this guy is still here, and it was this guy who was determining that people were in the room. So basically, when you are selecting a room in 3 Ultimate, you can only see the location of the room host, and the assumption, of course, is that the location of the room host is going to be the location of the team. But these people had departed without this guy, so I really have no way of knowing when they departed on a quest, and furthermore, when they might actually be returning. So it's a little bit frustrating to have to sit around here at the start of my recording, waiting for these people to come back, but it was my choice to do this. I could have waited until I was basically ready to depart on a quest, or at the very least, waited until I was in a room where I was personally assured of the fact that we were close to departing before actually starting this recording. But no, I didn't do that, and so, yeah, I'm just going to be hanging around, I suppose. Hello, Ron Money. Yeah, you finally caught a stream because I'm streaming, I suppose, on my, at my old scheduled time, which is when you used to turn up. It is, it's 10 in the morning where I am, which is good for you. And Cavenator has the bell on. God, it's like old times. Ron Money, Cavenator, A Gaming, what's going on? It's like a flashback to 2020. But anyway, no, which is a good thing. I'm not sighing in an exasperated fashion. I'm sighing in an expression of reminiscence of perhaps better times. In a way, some things are better as well. Like anything. These guys have departed 2-man on a quest, by the way, which means that there's every likelihood that they're going to take longer than they should be. Or I suppose otherwise would be if they had departed with a full team, when it comes to completing this quest, which really doesn't help things either. Oh, I actually don't have the correct keyboard here. I have my PC keyboard in front of me. I'm supposed to have the game keyboard so that I can communicate with people in the game. That's somewhat annoying. Here we go. Art Your Man says, "I'll cap him, hold your fire." What do you mean, hold your fire? That guy's using a longsword. Even if you're saying it figuratively speaking, I really don't think that that's appropriate. Hold your fire. Imagine describing swinging a sword as firing at the monster, even figuratively. Anyway. $50 million runes in Elden Ring is certainly a good number. Got a few zeros to count though. Alright, so they're done with the quest. From what I can tell, they're congratulating one another for their success, so hopefully that means that it's the end of the quest and not just one of multiple monsters captured. But, yeah, what I'm going to do is grab the keyboard that I actually want to use when recording 3 Ultimate so that I can type to these people. Even if it is going to be slightly slower typing than usual. And, yeah, I'll be back in a sec. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. This is important. Just read that last comment and hopefully that will be enough. I don't think any further... What to repeat the word comment is required on my part. Anyway. Yeah, that's definitely the sort of thing that I would have as my greeting message as well. What the fuck? Shit. What's Doomlink yelling about? Well, his fucking XLR cable of his microphone is stuck on stupid things. Fuck off. Damn it. Alright. What? Apparently Mozing was not sleeping, he was just drunk. What? So Mozing is apparently drunk and he's just... Yeah, okay. Well, I don't really care if he's drunk or not. I just want him to... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Welcome to the club, Mo. So apparently Artie is also drunk. What's going on? Why are 3 Ultimate players all alcoholics? Like, what's the situation? I mean, do we all drink? Is there like a reason why we all consume copious amounts of alcohol? Ow. Sorry, not to be a wuss, but it hurts. Yeah, I'm on a short tether at the moment. It's very hot today. I have limited mobility. And, yeah, those two things together are going to make me more annoyed. Ugh. No, I'm not drinking vodka, that's pathetic. I'm drinking gin, thank you. This is the vodka. No, this is water. Look, I generally wouldn't advise drinking spirits on a hot day because it dehydrates you, but I suppose I like to live dangerously. I don't know where I'm putting my phone! I need to put my phone somewhere. Fuck! I'm just so not feeling it right now. What's going on? What are we doing, guys? What's happening? Generally. 3 drunkards and Conrad. Just anything at this stage would be welcome, because I have been sitting here doing nothing for some time in this livestream. And as I'm sure you would all agree, the sooner I do a quest, the better. How about we use this loadout, because I'm not going to delay things unnecessarily by changing my loadout for 2 Azuros. Like, why would I do that? It's quite silly. Doesn't really matter what I use, they are going to be killed very quickly. Anyway. I've just got this phone here that I usually have set into my PC keyboard, which has a rail on it, which is designed for holding phones and tablets and things of that sort. But you see, I've had to swap the keyboard now. Typically what I do is I make use of my phone case, which has currently been removed from my phone, in order to position it a little better for reading the chat, but I now have the case over there, and I've already had to get up to fucking get my keyboard, and I'm not getting up again. So I'm sort of at a loss as to what the fuck to do with myself. I'm just gonna put the phone here. No, that's... Stop. I put the phone on my keyboard and it slides off the keyboard. It also presses the spacebar on the keyboard. Like, quite frankly, I'm at my wit's end. I'm about to throw myself out a fucking window. Head first. Glass. Just... Yeah, why you mad, says Cavenator. Why do you reckon? I'll give you one guess. In fact, I've actually explained why I'm mad already. You good, man? Are you for real? You've been watching me for how many years and you're asking me if I'm good, man? I think I'm okay. But thanks for the Thanks for the show of concern. Where's your brother? Is the question. I'll ready up just to indicate that I'm ready to depart. Come on. Oh, never mind. Why is it that... Oh, you know what it is. I don't know why. I'm so used to seeing, you know, a status of the people playing in the room on the right side of the screen. And I'm like, why is it minimized? Bring it up. But then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm playing 3 Ultimate and it's on the gamepad. That makes sense. Alright, I'm ready for some Azarus. I don't know about you guys, but this is going to be a blue bear moment. Bear in the big blue house. I don't know, that was the first thing that came to mind when I said blue bear. But yeah. That was a bit of a flashback. Deserted island dust up. It's going to be a fucking dust up, alright. It's going to be over by the time I've blinked my eyes about 10 times. That's not to say that I'm going to start blinking when we begin the fight, and then after I've blinked 10 times it will be over. I mean, like, from the start of the quest. Cap both, please, requests. Arty. What did he say again? I'm arty and ready to party, something like that. Something stomach-churning like that. Reminds me of... Yeah, that's right, it was, No, now I'm trying to remember his name. What's his name? Fuck. Gaijin Hunter, that's right. I remember he joined my lobby and he sent this message saying, cats rule, monsters drool. It's reminiscent of that, and it gave me a similar reaction. Oh, I thought you left, man. What's going on? Here we go. Just had to... apparently adjusting the microphone takes greater precedence. Oh, sorry. I mean, really? You want to capture these fucking Azaros and you're... Are you... What are you doing? Did you get confused between the two of them? Did you think this was the one we were fighting? It's very difficult to get confused. I mean, there's a slight size difference, Conrad. Slight. I understand. It's almost the same. I mean, what's going on? Anyway, I do apologize for. I mean, yeah, we can just throw Tranks the whole hunt, I suppose. Well, okay, hold on. Is this even G rank? It's G rank. Jesus Christ. What a terrible hunt. I officially would like to say this was the worst hunt ever. Because, I mean, what's the point? Why even depart on a hunt like this? Why are you screaming, Cabinator? Easier than low rank. That's what it feels like. It actually felt like a low rank hunt, to be honest. The speed at which we dealt with these Azaros. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I got everything. I definitely feel better about myself. Cavenator has graced us with the following impression. It felt like that was not even a rank. Yes. I tend to agree. I tend to agree. Tutorial level difficulty. I was barely even involving myself in the hunt. That's the way it felt to me, and they were already being captured, so... Yeah, anyway, we'd better not be doing any more, because that was boring. I don't even want to say boring, because you see, not enough time had transpired for boredom to set in. But I suppose the amount of time that I had to wait for the quest to start, and then waiting for it to conclude, and then get to the reward screen, like, all of that probably took longer than the hunt itself, so therefore, I suppose I could say that the process was boring. If I really wanted to talk to you, Kayamba, or is that Cha-Cha? That's probably fucking... I don't know who it is. I think it's Kayamba. He's the one with the weird straw skirt looking thing. Maybe it's not straw, it's probably fur. I don't especially care for the details, but... what I do know is that I don't particularly like the Sharkalunkas. Name a game that's trash. Roblox. And I know that's a game that you play a lot of, and it shows. Anyway. Oh, Pokemon Snap. No, Pokemon Snap is okay. I have definitely made fun of Pokemon Snap in... Wait, do I really want to be using this again? What are we hunting this time? We're hunting Jade Barroth. I will actually change weapons. Stop. Nobody ever wants to talk to you, mate. Nobody ever wants to talk to you, except for when you have something to give us, which we usually delete anyway. Anyway. I've had some choice words for Pokemon Snap in the past, but you know what? I played it, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with the game. Like, I looked at the game in context with the time it released, which I recall to be like 1997 or thereabouts. And quite frankly, good game, entertaining. Maybe not good, but certainly not bad. You know, it was just a decent game for the time. And really, if anyone wants to rail on that game, just remember it's actually kind of fine, and there are probably other games that you should be taking issue with before Pokemon Snap. Now, as for the remake, that I really couldn't say. Thanks for letting us know, Cavenator. I will bring a greatsword, which is a weird choice against Jade Barroth, but I don't really care. It's just a bit of fun in it. It's just a bit of fun. It's a weird choice in that I don't get many opportunities for level 3 charges, and so therefore I'm not going to get that much damage out. Or at least, I'm unlikely to do so. But I can do my best. That's definitely within my capabilities, I think. I'm a crazy for enslaving my villagers in Minecraft. I was curious to see what 2 years having passed would bring to our exchanges. I see things haven't really improved in any noticeable way. Are you crazy for enslaving? No, you're not, because it's part of the game. If you're playing Minecraft, you enslave your villagers, or whether you call it enslaving or exploiting, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's part of the game, it's normal, it's expected, it's what most people do. It's fine. And it's not really worth even mentioning. It's almost expected that you do something like that at some point or another. No! Should have brought cleansers, Doomlink. Yeah, maybe I should have. Well, It turns out that if you're going to cut a finger, the middle finger is a good one if you play video games, because you tend not to use your middle finger when you're, playing on a controller. I remember the last time I injured myself, it was my elbow. Really smashed the fuck out of my right elbow. Was it my right one? Or my left one? Yeah, it was my right one. And, I couldn't actually extend my arm. It was really bad. There was this huge fluid buildup, and I just, it was very painful. Couldn't, basically had to keep my arm at a right angle. And, I could still play video games. So, yeah, those are the bad injuries, the ones where you can't actually play video games anymore. It makes the recovery a bit boring. But if you can still play video games, all is well. It's just the cut on my finger is right on a joint, and because it's right on a joint, it's very easy to actually strain the wound itself. And so I'm just trying not to extend that finger, but the rest of the fingers can do what they need to do, I suppose. I think we've got Pitfall Trap down, and it looks like our friend is going to go straight in it. I don't understand why they call this monster Jade Baroth. I've never really understood that. It's more like, I suppose you can't call him Cerulean Baroth, can you? Because we've already got Azure Rathalos, and those are pretty much the same fucking colours. In fact, they refer to one of Azure Rathalos' weapons as Cerulean. So, my point is that there's nothing Jade about this Baroth. If you, I know this is slightly unreliable. I understand it. But if you Google image search the word Jade, you're either going to get the material, as in the rock, the stone, or you're going to get the colour, both of which are, for the most part, one and the same, but this monster's blue. Okay, not green, but blue. So why are they calling him Jade Baroth? I don't understand it. Would I have rather they call him Blue Baroth? No. Maybe Frost Baroth. What's wrong with Frost Baroth? Maybe a description of, the environment that he likes to inhabit. Maybe that would make sense. And he's covered in snow. I mean, Frost Baroth makes sense, right? We don't have Frost anything. Not in 3rd gen. So what's wrong with Frost Baroth? Instead we're going to just... Well, that was actually quite extreme. That hit that Mozing took. He basically flew in the air, and because he flew so high, he ended up riding Baroth for a little while flying backwards, and then ended up in the next area. It doesn't matter. Frost Baroth, Glacier Baroth. I mean, Glacier Baroth, if anything, is just extravagant and not even that accurate, to be honest. Maybe to you, Glacier Baroth is a good name, but it's not. Frost Baroth is best. And, yeah, the situation is that at least Frost or Glacier would be accurately descriptive of the monster, at least to an extent, whereas Jade Baroth is simply not right. I mean, there's a little bit of green on the spine, but he is, for the most part, a blue monster. He's blue, okay? So there you go. Not a fan. It's like calling green Nagakuga blue Nagakuga. He's not fucking blue, so why are you calling this monster green? That's what I want to know. This arty guy really has... well, he must have some kind of penchant for hammer, because I would not, as a casual hammer user, even dream of using a hammer on this monster. Wouldn't dream of it. Like, I could be having a fever dream where, dogs and cats are living together and apples taste like oranges, and I would not think of using a hammer against a Baroth, so, yeah. I just wouldn't fucking do it. Cold Baroth, yeah. That's, you know what? That is probably your competing name with Blue Baroth. Either Cold Baroth or Blue Baroth. It's just one of the two. Doesn't matter. They are both excellent. Let's not forget the days of Brown Blangonga. Conrad, you can throw as many tranks as you want. 2 is what you require for a capture. If 2 hasn't done it... I'll cap him, hold your fire! No one's using a bowgun. You know, the phrase hold your fire actually is longer than stop attacking. I'll cap him, stop attacking would actually be less to read and more generally accurate than hold your fire. Oh, he's got, probably Rocksteady, is it? Yeah. Hold your fire, hold your fire. About that. Well, Mosing is looking very color coordinated today. Oh, hi. I suppose I could say, hey AJ, and then I would simultaneously be greeting you and just saying your name, so... But yes, hello. Ugh. Oh, we got a large wyvern stone. Jade Baroth gem. Yes. It does frustrate me that he's referred to as Jade Baroth. It's... You know what it is? I've never mentioned it until now because despite knowing that it was inaccurate, I never really cared, but just... occasionally you'll think about something carefully, and then it may offend you slightly that it's so inaccurate. It's like, well, why? Why is it like that? I'm not sure. Maybe the colour jade is not as strictly defined as I suspected. What? You're definitely a well-travelled fellow on the internet, Cavenator. You've been around. You've seen many things. What the fuck? Anyway. Accident investigation with Goebel. Do we have to do the single one? Could we just do the triple one? At least then it would feel like a more substantial hunt. I'm gonna see if I've got the triple one. Please tell me I've got the triple one. Fuck. I mean, if he would prefer to do the single one, then fine, but I wouldn't, so I'm going to ask the question, and hopefully he would agree to do that. But if no one's got the triple quest, then it is what it is. I'll bring Gunlance. Didn't I... What, Doomlink? I seem to recall that I made an abyssal weapon. Did I make the hunting horn? Did I make the abyssal hunting horn? No, I didn't. What was the last thing I used a dynamo on? Maybe I still haven't used that one dynamo that I got. No, I did use a dynamo at some point. I think, no, hold on, I'm in the wrong place. No, I did use that. No, I keep thinking, oh look, it's abyssal stuff. Oh wait, that's a Latrian. Oh look, it's abyssal. Oh no, that's Halogen. Abyssal is over here. I still got that dynamo. Okay. So I still haven't made that fucking hunting horn. Anyway, let's go and equip something. I'm not actually going to use lightning works, whatever that's called. Lightning blaze, sorry. Let's use a switch axe. Remember the switch axe? Yeah. I remember that weapon type. What's a fun switch axe to use? Well, I suppose there's only one that would be particularly helpful. I am trying to make the Ivory Lagiacruz switch axe, by the way. That is my intention. I'm going to have a look and see if it can be forward. I think I checked, didn't I? Wanted to see if it could be made at high rank level. Looks like it can't be. I have to make the bolt axe, then upgrade it all the way to ivory. Whereas this fucking thing can be forged outright, but it would require 2 dynamos, which is a lot to ask for. Okay, fine. I won't use the gun lance because I'm not feeling it. I'll use... Oh, fuck. I'm in that awkward situation where I really don't feel like using anything against this monster. It happens occasionally. Oh, I know. No, I don't want to use the thing that I was thinking of using. Yeah, alright, I'll use Nether Confidants. I don't use it that often. Very good dual blades, but don't always use them. Hopefully they haven't departed without me. If they have, then hopefully I'll have other rooms to join, but... yeah. Use hammer. I'll use it in the next quest. I'm always happy to take recommendations. What? I'm sorry, what? I mean, this is still appropriate what I have, but why did we just go from... What? Fuck you! What if I just spent all this time getting ready for Go Ball and then you go and post this without actually saying anything in the chat? It's a little discourteous, don't you think? What the fuck? No, 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 take it easy. Take it easy. You could see he was trying to depart there and it defaulted to no and he's like, huh? Yeah, just take it easy, mate. Okay. Now that I'm ready, this guy, I don't know, is passed out or something. Come on. Don't be shy. But yes, I will use the hammer for the next time. I'll actually promise to use hammer, regardless of what the monster is. Even if it's a monster that I hate to hunt with the hammer, I'll do it. I'm not really looking forward to using lightning, well, the lightning part is irrelevant. I'm not looking forward to using dual blades against a Plesioth. That's not something that I would wish on even my worst enemy. Come on, man. Literally, you only had to wait an extra 5 seconds and I was readied up. It's like he saw that I wasn't ready and it hurt his feelings. Now he's picked up his toys and gone home. Come back. Come on, man. Here we go. Alright. Island warfare. Let's kill some Jaggy. And then, God forbid, old mate, green Plesioth. Hi. This will probably be something of a solo operation. You can see that at G rank, Great Jaggy moves at a speed that's almost difficult to keep your eyes on him. He's just an absolute speed demon. Unfortunately, however, he still deals fuck all in terms of damage, so it doesn't make a difference. I would like to get a few head hits off, more than what I was getting off initially anyway. Here we go, yeah, some head impacts, I was stuck in a combo. This is why Dual Blades has really crap mobility. People think that just because it's a light weapon type, and that it attacks quickly, that it's somehow a high mobility weapon type. It's really not. Like, both Sword and Shield and Longsword are more mobile. I mean, Longsword technically is something that you're going to commit with more than the dual blades, but that's your choice. You don't have to commit to spirit combos. You can just stop spamming the fucking R button, you know? You can just not do that. The thing with the dual blades is that like many attacks of the dual blades, particularly in demonized mode, which is what you should be in if you want to deal damage, one attack is like a multi-swing, and that's just not good for mobility, because what it means is that you have to wait for your animation to conclude before you can actually do anything, and guess what? In a fast-moving combat scenario, that means you're probably going to get hit. And the dash from the dual blades is very small. I suppose it's designed to be used as a maneuver to evade through something rather than away from something, which I think is fair. No, 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 don't go jumping in here. We're fishing him out. Stop! Perhaps it was never his intention to jump into the water, but sometimes you can never be too sure. Whoever gets the first frog is going to be making their way over there, and it's me. It's me. It's me. What are you doing, man? How about we just let him solo it? Let's just let him solo it. Mozing is so blackout drunk he's still gathering for frogs. Conrad is probably just generally confused. And Artie is still hunting the Plesioth. I really like the way this is going. No, don't... Again. Fuck. I'm going to be a little bitch about it. Conrad, again, as I said, is just... I don't think Conrad is looking at this in the same way I am. I think he's just thoroughly confused. I don't think he knows his head from his asshole, just from what I've been able to tell. But maybe I'm being harsh. I'm not sure. But this is my way of, I guess, protesting. I don't want to... I've got dual blades. I'm not fucking using dual blades underwater against a Plesioth. Okay? In the first instance... I actually set up for a fucking go ball, and then you did a little switcheroo on me and changed it to a totally different quest. Fortunately with the same elemental weakness, but it was a different quest, because dual blades are not fun with Plesioth. Second of all, this Artie guy, because he's obviously the actual perfect picture of lack of patience, jumped straight into the water to engage the monster rather than fish him out, which is just the better thing to do. As in, fishing him out is a better thing to do. And, yeah, it was overall fucking nightmare. I also couldn't even begin to imagine why a dung bomb has been thrown on this monster. Like, why would you do that? Is it to... Oh, I see. It was to spite me. It was to make it so that there was less of a chance of Plesioth coming onto land. Unless a dung bomb makes him come onto land. Wouldn't that be weird? I've never heard anything of the sort, in actual fact. A dung bomb making... you know what? Can you still throw sonic bombs and get him to come on land? I've never tried that in this game. It would make sense if it still worked. Why would a Plesioth in this game suddenly be resistant to the loud noise of a sonic bomb? Okay, it seems that Mozing and Conrad have now switched places. Like I said, Mozing is probably bordering upon blackout drunk, and Conrad is just... he exists in what I would assume to be a constant state of blackout mental vision. So, yeah, I'm moseying along, and I flatly refuse to engage this monster underwater as a form of protest. You know, I'm not fast one way or the other. I'll hang back. I've seen a lot of flash bomb attempts, but not a whole lot of successes. What's that now? 4 flash bombs and I think 1 success, although I didn't actually see the success when it... And I think we've missed again. This guy plays like a Freedom Unite hunter. Which, by the way, is not a compliment. Oh, Mozing just went in. He's gone in for the attack. Don't mess with Mozing. Mozing and his fucking high rank switch axe. Mean business. It would be funny if one of them fainted. We'll see. I'm not too concerned about being removed from the room for my rather unsportsmanlike behaviour, because Mozing is the room host. I'd have to do something pretty unseemly to actually be removed by Mozing, from what I can tell. I watched the guy stand still for like 15 minutes, and as soon as he was accused of being AFK, he said, "No, I'm just drunk." I mean, okay. Why were you standing still for 15 minutes? Were you gazing off into the distance, pensively considering the nature of life itself, with no sense of time? Just went by in a blink of an eye. Anyway. It is what it is. Like I've said on numerous occasions, this community is a very fucking special community, and I don't mean special as in unique in a way that is deserving of praise. I mean unique in a way that these people should be, you know, so that humanity can evolve in a positive direction, removed from human society. Why do I have 99 worms? I don't know. Well, Artie may have been ready to party, but he wasn't ready to fish. So... Sorry, gotta go sleep, says Artie. Okay, good night. He didn't take much interest in anything I had to say, which is fine. I'm not exactly hungry for a confrontation, I was just reacting to the weapons-grade stupidity I was witnessing. Maybe that's a little dramatic, but still, like, that was annoying. Mozing is using the 1990s :_ close bracket. Wow. That is the classic smiley face of old. Back on the old bulletin boards of the early internet. Goodness gracious. Sandstorm. Okay. You know, the revival of Darude Sandstorm was something that I'm glad only lasted for about a year, because that was some embarrassing shit. And that was just... oh. Literally, your spine would go rigid and you just go... ugh. Just wait it out, Doomlink. Wait for the meme to pass. And it did. What's this guy's hunter rank? 3? He's hunter rank 3, the poor boy. Please tell me something in this... Oh no, there's nothing in this room information that suggests that it's a G rank room. So, what, we're going to be forced to do high rank hunts whenever this guy posts, which is not great. Okay. What am I doing? Might use a longsword. Although I've forgotten what was posted on the board in true Doomlink fashion. What's a general use longsword? I've got 2 options, paralysis or slime. I don't want to use slime because I think we've already got... Oh, I think you were just kicked without even a minor attempt to explain why you were being kicked, which is pretty sad. What the fuck are we hunting again? Why can't I remember? Why do I look at the quest board and then walk away from it and then think about what it was that I saw and then draw blanks? What's that about? Sandstorm, okay. So we want an ice weapon. I will use switch... Oh no, I did say that I'd use a hammer, didn't I? Okay, fine. Do I have an ice hammer that's not Baroth? Let's find out. I'm going to select this awaken loadout just so that I can see all of my hammer elements, whether they are awaken or not. I think I do actually have an ice awaken hammer. Alright, Baroth Ravine Maker. Looks good, but again, could be better. Onslaught. Okay. So 1352... Okay, let's just compare these stats. Not that. Let's compare these stats for a second. Onslaught's better. Yeah, the increased... Yeah, no, this is not even... It's not even a competition. Onslaught is better. Alright, we're using this. Don't worry, Ron Money. In fact, he's even sending the old style sad face now. Goodness. It's alright. I actually didn't even see your messages. I remembered on my own that I needed to use the hammer. All on my own. I will actually purchase some drinks because I need to. The good thing about having a room host who's drunk is that he's not he's not in a rush, you know. I've been there a few times. There's no rush. There's always going to be something on the screen that'll take your attention for at least 3 minutes, and you'll just go, okay. That's interesting. I like watching the boat gently swaying up and down. Maybe swaying is not the word. You know what I mean. You panicked when I started talking about which weapon to use. Well, I had actually in my mind settled on using the Dragon's Roar event switch axe, but then I remembered, oh no, I did commit. I did actually make a pledge to all of you, but particularly to Ron Money, to use the hammer, regardless of what the next hunt was going to be. And you know what? This isn't a bad one. I did say that I wouldn't, in my wildest fever dreams, use a hammer against a Baroth, so we're going to see how that pans out. I have actually done it before, okay? I don't want to be too dramatic or mislead you in any way. I have used a hammer against a Baroth before, but just not any time recently. So that will happen in this recording. Bet you weren't expecting that after my previous comment. And, yeah. I smell success. in terms of quest success. I don't know about personal success. We'll see what I can do. Conrad apparently just wants to take a hit, which is cute, but unfortunate for him. Ow. I got a nice view of the insides of that nibble snuff, which are distinctly less detailed than the insides of Tri-Monsters. Would like to get a bomb down, but can't really do it in time. Are you going to turn around again? No, you're not. Oh, no, you are. Get over here, man. Yummy. Gulp, gulp, gulp. Now, he didn't actually get it. I did think that the last biting attack would still allow him to swallow it, but it certainly didn't. Yeah, you guys never get to see me use the hammer. It's because I'm too lazy to do it these days. My hammer days are over. In the same way that these days, my desire to use the bowgun has really just ebbed away. No, we don't need 2 bombs. I put a bomb to... This Conrad guy, bless his heart. Honestly, bless his heart. Just want to put him in my lap and stroke him like a cute kitten. Not to belittle him in any way, but genuinely precious thing. Puts a second bomb down right next to my other bomb. Because that's what I was going for. What are you doing? Wouldn't mind a KO sometime soon. Don't know if I can expect one soon or what, but... What I am expecting is my patience to run out fairly soon if I don't get one. There we are. And we'll just get the tip of the nose. Which I presume to... Oh, what the fuck? What is the point of... What is the point of having a monster that can be KO'd when literally the fucking KO can be interrupted by a flinch? Which is effectively a damage threshold. Like, why? That's horrendous. Talk about soul-destroying for a hammer user. To go to all this effort to get a KO, only for the monster to just get stuck in the ground, which would have happened whether you KO'd the monster anyway. This is so annoying. Almost makes me not want to bother aiming for the head anymore. Nice bomb explosion. Don't know if that was a Delex or a Hunter or what, but... God. Pretty disappointed. Don't use a hammer against a nibble snuff is essentially the recommendation I would extend to all of you hammer users out there. Find an alternative, otherwise you're just going to be left completely disappointed. Because, you know, you go to all this trouble working up to, or working your way up to a KO, and then it's just... It may be totally cancelled by the monster just being a little bitch. To put it inarticulately. I suppose we could say by the monster being poorly designed. How about that? I generally like nibble snuff. I've seen there's been a resurgence of contempt for this monster. I don't know what that's about. Originally he was disliked. No, originally he was liked, and then he was disliked, and then people forgot about him, and now people dislike him again. I'm not sure what that's about, but anyway. There we go, that was a nice... Oh, never mind. That was not a fishing opportunity. Regrettable as that is. Work up to a golf swing here. Can you die now? Seriously, you're a nuisance. I'm never going to forget that cancelled KO. That was so disappointing. Alright. Baroth time. Let's confirm his current position. He is one area north of his starting area. More specifically, where he eats. I'm beginning to take the heat of the day, as in literally where I live, in stride. I feel like I've absorbed the heat into my body and I'm now just functioning at high temperature in a natural and almost comfortable way. So, for those of you wondering why I've been so resistant to the idea of using a hammer on a Baroth, you can see that the head of the Baroth is too fucking high depending on the size of the monster. You can get upswings on the chin, for example, but it's still annoying. And you see, that opportunity that I just took there is not always a guarantee. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? I don't know if you saw, I was positioning myself for a super pound at the end of the tail swing, but somehow the very fucking tip of the tail, at the first fucking pixel of his fucking animation, pixel, that's not frame, the first frame of his animation managed to clip me there. What a joke. That didn't even look like it should have connected, but it did. Because again, it was like the first frame of the tip of his fucking tail. I was positioning myself for a super pound on the head. But anyway, what I was trying to explain was that the, sorry, Conrad. What I was trying to explain was that when he is shaking the mud off his body, I will apologise for that one. 2 is quite unfriendly, even if I don't have much positive to say about Conrad. I suppose there's one thing that I can say that's good about him. Okay, so this opportunity here, the problem with this is that it's not that much of an opportunity, because while he does put his head down, he's shaking his mud everywhere. What if I get hit by mud? As soon as I get hit by mud, whatever the hell I'm doing is going to get cancelled out. Don't know why I was going for a triple pound there. That was never going to work. Yeah, great. Upswing. There you go, that's a good KO. That's probably one of your best opportunities for using the hammer against this monster. It's basically the tail swing. It's the easiest thing to navigate while he gives you an opportunity. Conrad's storming off in a half. He was actually okay with being super pounded. He responded with no problem when I apologized for super pounding him twice consecutively. Hello, Beta. Good to see you. It's fucking old times, guys. Cavenator, Ron Money, and Beta Star. It's crazy. It's old times because I'm recording during my old schedule. Like my old scheduled live stream time, and then all the old suspects have returned. It's good to see you all again. Well, maybe, I'm not sure how I feel about Cavenator, but anyway. I was quite open to having a different interaction with him there, but apparently 2 years hasn't done much to mature the man. Or mature the boy, I should say. Getting on 3 years now, actually. Scary stuff. Oh well. It was a good attempt, wasn't it? It is something you can do. It's a bit of a joust of sorts, but yeah, I didn't get the timing quite right. I'm not going to assume that Zing is conscious. I'm not going to assume that. I'm not seeing his character move, and we all know the current state that he's in, so yeah, I'm just going to guess that he's out for now. As for what he was doing, I really do not know what he was doing. Like, what's he doing over there? Maybe he... No, I think he died, didn't he? Or was it someone else who died? I'm not sure. It looks like he's at camp. Alright, well that's the end of that hunt. Okay, got a tier as well apparently. A Baroth Kine, which is nice. And then we'll do some carving. Even though I usually have a lot of G-rank materials for every single monster, I think Baroth might be one such example of a monster that doesn't actually have maxed out materials in my box at G-rank level. Alrighty. If it does seem like Zing is just completely out of it, I will vacate the room. There's no point hanging around for someone who's going to be asleep for the next 8 hours. So yeah. Asleep in chair. Back in Monster Hunter Tri, I had a friend that I played with all the time. His name was Stuart. This is on the European servers. Stu and I used to hunt on the daily, and he was a few hundred hunter ranks above me, which was basically a result of him playing a lot more than I did, and I played a lot. And he would always play until he passed out. And it was natural, you know, you'd just be going along, chatting and hunting, and oh, he's still here. He's still conscious. What's he been doing? Was he leeching? Were you leeching off us? Or did the music wake him up? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Stuart back in Tri. I'd like to meet him again. It was weird. After he disappeared, I met a girl who was on, like, in the same community, who had a crush on him. It was kind of weird. So I hadn't hunted with him for probably 2 years or something, and then independently of him, met this girl in the game, and it turned out we both knew him, and she had a crush on him. It was weird. But anyway. Well, I've discussed how I treated Monster Hunter Tri as more of a lifestyle than anything else, in that I felt that I lived on the game, but you see, that was a perspective that I had at the time and still have, but if I think about it a little more critically, this guy lived on the game. He lived and breathed Monster Hunter Tri. He'd wake up and play the game until he fell asleep. And when I say fell asleep, I mean passed out in his chair. So, he lived on the game. He was from the UK. I wonder how he's doing these days. That was 10 years ago. No, more than 10 years ago. This is 12 years ago now. Wow. Wow! It's 2023. Anyway. Forest Fracas, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. The common elemental weakness would be thunder, but I don't think that Roggy actually takes much damage from thunder. Still, I'm not going to be bringing a weapon that's going to necessarily be elementally appropriate for a Roggy, because he doesn't have much health anyway. So, thunder damage will suffice. Oh yeah, Tri just completely blows any modern game out of the water, and that game had some serious problems, so. Yeah, the Tri online experience was a special thing. Very special thing. We may get a taste for it again as the servers return on PC, and also if you mod your Wii, but still not going to be the same community, you know. That community will never be again. Its time has passed. And it was a special few years. I suppose it was it's hard to imagine it was only 3 years. Wow. I can't believe that was only 3 years, like roughly 3 years that the servers were up. It didn't feel like it. Wow. Anyway. It's not a long time for the servers to be up, but it was just another one of the games to suffer the consequences of the GameSpy servers shutting down. It was hosted by GameSpy and they fucking switched things off, and then Capcom didn't see fit to reinstate the servers elsewhere, which I will never forgive them for, but that's a separate topic. So the monsters involved are Goebel, Plezioth. Okay, let's use a lance. Do I have an Awakened Thunder lance? I'm assuming that I don't, simply because Awakened Thunder is very difficult to get in this game. The only weapon off the top of my head that can be used with Awakened Thunder is the Chak Chak Sword and Shield, which is the Gimbal Gaia in this game fully upgraded. Fuck off, man. I suppose I don't have to do that. No, I'm not using the Eclipse Lance. If you're wondering why that's not fully upgraded, it's because I do not like the fact that it maxes out the sharpness at the final upgrade, so I don't want to waste a Cloudy Moon Shard on something I'm never going to use. Let's use Dubez. No, I don't want to use Dubs. What's going on? Isn't that the same weapon as this? Why do I have the Eclipse Lance and the fully upgraded one? What was I thinking? God, what's going on? This is not normal behavior. Anyway, I'll just bring the Abyssal Lagucris Lance, that's fine. It's a pretty lance, and I think we would all be in agreement when it comes to that. The terrible trio. Mosing, Conrad, and me. Yeah. It's a terrible trio, alright. Oh, fuck. What are you doing? Stop us. There's no point even using those gestures here. We're all sitting along a fucking bench. We're not sitting on a table together. That was one of the things that I didn't like about this game. It was the fact that, I mean, yeah, there are tables, but you have to go further away to see them. Like over here. Why would anyone sit at this fucking table and eat here? Why? There's no reason to. You just eat here because it's closer. It's less intimate. Anyway. I do like the location of Port Tanzia, but I don't like the layout of the actual online area. If that makes sense. I also don't like how they downgraded things back to the way it was in first gen with Monster Hunter 1 and G, where you would be in a menu before coming into the online location. Back in Tri, you were actually sent to the city and had to go somewhere to access the rooms. You were in a physical location. But then they downgraded it in this game. It was a shame. Why change it and then go back? So, Great Roggy should be our first monster that we find. Again, I don't believe that I'm elementally appropriate for the monster, but that doesn't really matter. Conrad is lost. It's not like I know where I'm going, it's just I bring things that help. Like psychoserums. Good day. Whoa, this is a big Roggy, look at the size of him. That's a gold crown large Roggy if ever I've seen one. And I've probably seen one, but not in recent memories, so I'm just going to assume that this is actually a fucking gold crown large. Look at him. He's actually baggy sized. And baggy's big. I actually don't have the stamina to keep up with this monster. It's kind of funny. You keep away from me, you longsword Larry, motherfucker. Oh, seriously. Keeping up with this monster with a lance is bad news. Mosing is going to take a while to get here, so... not for any reason other than the fact that he's almost incapacitated. He's on the edge, for sure. He's probably having to relearn how to coordinate his fingers on the controller as he plays. Oh, stop it. You're using a fucking poison longsword on a Roggy, man. Don't know what to tell you. I suppose I was just saying that it doesn't matter if you use something elementally appropriate, but still, it feels pretty bad to use poison on a Roggy, no matter what. If I'm not being hit by the monster, I'm being hit by my teammates. That's the way this feels. I know you're going to limp out, so I'm going to try and hit you before you can. Would love to hit Conrad. Almost did. Almost got my chance. Didn't quite have the stamina. And he's dead. That was weird. So, the animation that threw him back didn't seem to kill him. But then he died either during the fall or after he hit the ground. That's the way it looked to me, but I may have misinterpreted them. Okay, Goebel time. I'm assuming he's going to spawn in his fishing location. If he doesn't, then it means he's going to be spawning in whatever that is. Area 1, I think. Oh. I did have a frog, but I put it away. I'll tell you what, Mosing was in no condition to be keeping up with the Roggy, so I don't mind that we two-manned that practically. He's now standing still. I don't know if that's because he's standing where the Goebel's going to spawn, or if he's passed out again. At this stage, I'm not going to make assumptions. Again, the Goebel could spawn here or over there. It's probably more likely to be where Mosing is, but I'm here just in case. We're covering all bases. Aha, I was right. Haven't been discovered yet. Until it turns red, and when I say it, I'm referring to the eye icon. You can hear it's playing the discovery music. And as long as that eye icon remains yellow, the monster has not completely seen you. And as long as the monster hasn't completely seen you, you can fish him out. That is actually the situation, so... I'd say part of the reason why Goebel can't completely see you is because he's in the water and you're on land. As you can see, having Mind's Eye is really fucking helpful. Why I'm bouncing on so many parts of this monster with white sharpness is actually beyond me. Couldn't even begin to imagine. The more I can hit the face, the better. The situation with Mind's Eye is that while you don't lose damage or anything when you hit the monster with Mind's Eye on a path that would otherwise cause your weapon to bounce, you do still lose sharpness faster. That is the bounce effect. The bounce effect does two things. It causes you to have a bounce animation, which slows you down, and it also causes your sharpness to degrade faster. But it will not actually have an effect on your damage dealt. The reason why is because the whole nature of bouncing actually relates to weapon damage in the first place. So parts of the monster, the armored part of a monster, what that is basically a damage requirement to hit through the part of the monster. It's actually not sharpness, so it's nothing as simple as you need a minimum amount of sharpness to hit through the part. So for example, you need white sharpness to hit through it. It's not like that. It's that if you're at white sharpness, you're more likely to be within the damage bracket that is going to cross the threshold to allow you to hit through the part of the monster that's been causing you to bounce. It's actually purely weapon damage that will affect bouncing. And because sharpness affects weapon damage, it just makes it seem as if weapon sharpness is the reason why you're bouncing. But there's a little more to it than that. But it's precisely because of how it's all calculated that you're not going to be dealing less damage because you're bouncing. Alright, now it's Plesioth. I don't know where he spawns, actually. I'm going to assume one of the Lagiacrus areas. Mosing is just completely out of it. He's gone. I don't think I'm going to continue hunting with this guy. What's the point? Literally, what's the point? Surprisingly, Conrad and I are doing alright on our own, but yeah, I'm not departing with 3 people, which is already less than I would prefer to depart with, and then end up hunting with 2 people. It's actually not worth it. So I'm going to see what my other options are after this hunt. It's either here or in the next area where Plesioth spawns. I think he comes in from over there. Could be wrong. We'll just have to find out. Hello. Wish I had demonstrated that a little more clearly. So just going for maximum DPS here, which is definitely something we need to seek to do if we're only going to be hunting with 2 people here. The face isn't much of a weak point, but it's better to hit that than nothing, of course. Guard up is required to guard that, as I understand. Face is broken. Current. I will settle for blue sharpness here because I did start at white. I'm not just going to be sharpening every time I drop to blue. That's rather annoying. You can see this is the underwater experience. Sometimes you're not going to be at the same depth as the monster. And that does change during the fight, which is a little annoying. It's just an extra thing to have to worry about when you're hunting the monster, and that's definitely a factor that leads people to really dislike underwater combat. It's obnoxious is what it is. Conrad's actually holding his own. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to fail to give credit where credit is due. I've been shit-talking him quite viciously in this recording, and he's doing okay. Like, he's not playing anywhere near as badly as some people that I've encountered in this community, so... yeah. It just all went downhill when he started tranking the wrong Arzuros before, but maybe he did that for a reason. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I will carve the one Mega Potion that I used, and yeah. Fortunately, because this Plesioth is one of 3 monsters, didn't have too much health. Got to go, says Conrad. Well, I have also got to go, because quite frankly, I don't think it's worth continuing to hunt with this Mosing guy. Are you leeching or what? I would never assume that, but... you seem to be here, but standing still. Why? Why are you here to play, and yet you don't hunt? Maybe he is leeching. It's technically possible, you know. It is technically possible that he's leeching, and I'll tell you why. He's HR6 with a full high rank loadout. So, maybe he is actually leeching. What a prick. The thing is, this sort of game is not... I mean, there are a lot of things that I can say about the Monster Hunter community that are not in any way complimentary. But for the most part, they don't leech. But I'm pretty sure that guy was fucking leeching. What an asshole. Just get in and play the game. You will actually become better at the game if you force yourself to play with lower defense than you should. You may run the risk of dying, but... I'm just gonna say it. What a little prick. What else have we got? G rank with Rachel. 2 pricks with their passworded rooms. Full moon with Lucretia. You know what's going on, don't you? This is an alt account of that guy. What was his name? Can't remember his name. You know, the guy who is always saying that he's playing with friends, but he's got no friends to actually play with. It's a bit early to be getting kicked, but what I mean is that I'd like to record for a little bit longer. I should actually be trying to join rooms that I can get hunts in, but this guy... Here we go. Playing with friends. Always an empty room. Always an empty room. I'm not sure if it's just a form of self-comfort or what. Fake it till you make it, but he's constantly naming his room, playing with friends, but see, immediately disconnected. He remembers me. He's in his alt account, and he's not even pretending to be a different person. Which maybe is better than the alternative, but seriously. I'm just gonna ask him, why do you keep naming your room playing with friends? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, what are you attempting to do? Are you trying to make people think you have friends, or are you trying to make friends? Because when you say playing with friends, the assumption is that you already have friends to play with, which you don't. And that has been demonstrated to be the case over a period of many, many months. I keep on hitting enter by mistake. I mean, you end up having to create multiple lines anyway, but... Look, I wouldn't care. It's just if you're going to be part of the community, fucking hunt. Don't just sit in a fucking room alone and then kick me every time I join. Just grow the fuck up. Do a bit of soul searching. Improve yourself. And interact with people. Christ, like, there's not many people to hunt with here, man. You don't have to fuck me, just hunt with me. You know what I'm saying? It's unbelievable. I can't remember his main character. I've forgotten the name now. Yeti has visited the port. Well, this is frustrating because what I've done is I've made this prick's room more appealing by joining it. So now Yeti is here, ready to hunt. Hello, this one guy I know in the chat. I'm doing alright, except for the fact that this guy is playing with non-existent friends. What's going on with Yeti? He's kicked both of us. What is the point of making a room if you're not going to hunt with anyone in the community? Seriously, you've even gone to the trouble of making a new fucking character, despite the fact that you haven't... I'm quite sure you haven't maxed out your other one. And yet, you're naming your room in the same way, using the same room titles. He's got like a series of different room titles that he has. One of them is Full Moon. Another one is like, I don't know, is it a full moon? Pretty sure full moon has passed, hasn't it? We're getting into the waning moon now, so what the fuck's he doing? What does full moon mean? And he changes it to different things. But one thing that always stays the same is the comment, which is playing with friends. But he hasn't got any. And I'm getting sick of it. Someone fucking befriend him. I just don't understand. Because you have to... You could say that he's some sort of aberrant, awkward person with whom I do not need to interact. But there's only like 15 people who play this game at any given time. So I end up having to deal with him every fucking time. He's always going to be one of the room options to join. Because he obviously can't interact in someone else's room. He has to have the control. He has to be able to kick people. Between this guy and James, I mean, the level of stupidity and awkwardness is immeasurable. Yeah, do the best you can. There are a few people who are playing at low rank and high rank level, so you should have people to play within the community. Strange why? I have months worth of documented live streamed evidence of the fact that you have no friends. Does this mean he's in denial? Is friends room? You know, I don't necessarily come here to make fun of you. I come here because there aren't many fucking room options to join, but you've always got a room up to play with no one. And then you kick people. Because, I don't know, they're not your friends or something, but you see, you, in the first instance, don't have any, and second of all, seem to be incapable of making any. Don't worry, all be fine. Winking face. What? Skander, if you are actually able to hunt and join a room in this game, I'll make a different room. Because there's no point populating this person's room. This guy is not just a social outcast, he's on another level. God knows what's going on in his life. God knows. Maybe join this room with Laliath, HR6. We'll see what's going on. Oh, I see. I didn't see your first message. You said make a new room, I will join. Okay. I only saw the I will join part. But yeah, this room seems okay for now, unless this other guy is not HR6. It seems that they are both HR6, just getting through the game. Doing the best they can. Yeah, they seem fine. Unless they're doing high rank, which would upset me. They're not. Ron Money, that would be a much more interesting story than what is most likely to be the case. And that is that this guy just has a different sort of trauma. It's just not, some kind of, Anyway. Interesting headcanon. But no. Here we go, short message from our friend. Then open your own room, happy face. That's all well and good, but sometimes I do. But, not always. Depends on the scenario. If there are lots of people playing, maybe I will. But there's a certain level of commitment that's required. And it's not always advisable to do that. So yeah, Scander in the chat, if you're still here, you can come and join Laliath's room. Or don't, it's up to you. I don't know what I want to use. Let's just bring the Serra symmetry, keep it simple. Make it clear to them that I'm actually coming to hunt. And I'll give this guy in the chat a few minutes to join. If he doesn't, then he can join for the next hunt or not come at all. It's over to him. Alrighty. I'll wait for you to come then. But yeah, it seems like a good room. I would recommend that if you are playing this game from the beginning, try to do it with a friend. That seems to be what these two are doing. It's going to make dealing with the community a lot easier. Oh, is it you? Scander, are you buckfunt? Room is full? Shit. That's pretty unfortunate then. I hope you'll understand, but this is a good room for me to be in. It's better for the sake of the live stream to be in this room and hunt with this group of 4. So yeah. I'm sorry that you didn't get a chance to make it in. Oh, you're Yeti. Okay. Cool. Well, I think we did get to hunt a little bit, right? At least one hunt. Oh dear. Well, auto tracker's not a bad skill to use when you're learning the movements of the monster, but look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to complain too much. He's got some decent defense to work with in early G rank, and he's got a skill that actually will help to learn the movements of monsters, so it's not too bad. Buckfut apparently is the alt account of James, according to Tavo Show. That's according to Tavo Show. He's usually a good source of information for things like this, because Tavo does play a lot of this game and knows the community inside out, and furthermore has a good understanding of just how fucked up it is. But yeah, Buckfut, according to him, is an alt account of James, so there you go. Got a Volvidon. But yeah, to be honest, I don't mind if it's James' alt account. It doesn't bother me, because one of my chief grievances with James is that he always hosts his own room and never hunts with other people unless he's actually hosting the room. And there are reasons why. It's because he's got issues. He needs to be able to control how things are going, otherwise he won't play ball. But he's giving it a try with an alt account, apparently, so that's a good thing. Should be encouraged. Don't know what it is with these socially awkward people making alt accounts, but anyway. The thing is, like, I can understand to a point being socially awkward in real life, but if you're so fucking awkward that interacting with you online is, from start to finish, akin to that of a process where you are pulling your teeth out one by one by tying your tooth to a door and slamming it, that's probably means that there's something seriously, seriously wrong with you. So that would be my impression. Big tongue. Oop. Ooh, see, aha, good. We did manage to flinch him out of that, which pleases me to see. Fuck, I keep pressing the button to charge my greatsword, but then I get flinched right at that moment when I'm supposed to be bringing out my greatsword. Very annoying. Just doing draw attacks because I don't need to do much more. It's a weak monster. And if we stay here, the next one will spawn. Those guys can deal with a Great Jaggy if they'd like, but I'll stick with Volvidon. I am using the strongest greatsword in the game, so it might make more sense to fight the stronger of the two monsters. Yes, I am using Critical Draw with this greatsword. The reason why it's so good is because, or the main reason why I would encourage using Critical Draw with a greatsword like this is because much of the greatsword's balance, this particular greatsword's balance, is the fact that it's very high raw, but negative affinity. Of course, Critical Draw will add 100 affinity onto your weapon, so you are going to be dealing critical hits with a weapon that defaultly should actually be in the negative, which is going to make it very, very strong. So yes, that is the strategy. I don't go to the extreme of always attacking with a draw attack. Some people, what they do, obviously, is they do their draw attack and then immediately sheath and then draw again. This is the sort of strategy that is encouraged by skills like Quick Draw, or excuse me, Quick Sheath. But yeah, I don't play like that. Nice to see Buckfudd again. Well, he's not problematic in any sort of way that I can tell, so I don't really mind. Critical Draw will work with it, it's just not going to be very effective. You can imagine that if the weapon has negative 50 affinity, you're going to be dealing with, you know, a greatsword that's not going to be getting a guaranteed critical every time you draw it, if you use it with Critical Draw. Now, Art of Unsheathing back in 2nd generation did guarantee a critical hit every time you did a draw attack, whereas in Monster Hunter Tri, they changed it to be an additional 100 affinity onto any attack. I would not, however, recommend that you use that greatsword. The one that you're talking about is the Eisenfaust, which you get from the Naked Deviljho event quest. It's a fucking meme weapon. It's terrible. Just to give you an idea of how bad it is, I am going to actually compare the stats of that greatsword to this greatsword, and you'll see why it's just pointless. Maybe if it had a really, really cool weapon design, it might be worth it. But it's not. It's a big fist thing, and it doesn't look that great, to be honest. So, yeah, overall, I wouldn't recommend that you use it, even with Critical Draw. Critical Draw is not going to make that weapon better. It will make it better, I suppose, but not to the extent where it's going to be worth using. It's a joke of a weapon. It's quite bad. I don't mind event weapons being a little bit worse than other things that can be made, but to be that much worse, God. Because it's a lack of sharpness and negative affinity, which come together to create an absolute joke of a weapon. So, best thing to do is to come into here. And Eisenfaust, I think, is over here. So let's compare. Can we compare with... Here we go. So let's look at our stat comparison here. Sarah Symmetry, 1488 damage. To start with, that's already more than what the Eisenfaust has. Already more. With sharpness +1, it starts at purple sharpness, negative 20% affinity, and 24 defense. Eisenfaust starts with a sliver of white rather than a sliver of purple, has less raw damage, has negative 50% affinity. That's effectively, I don't know if you'd say a decrease of 30, or an increase in the negative respect of 30, it doesn't really matter. But the point is that that's a big demerit in terms of affinity, and then it doesn't even have a defense increase. So this weapon, the Eisenfaust, is a joke. It's a piece of shit. Well, no, what I was saying was that the weapon doesn't look good enough to excuse how bad it is. I said if it were a good looking weapon, maybe it would be worth using, but it's not, in my opinion. I think it's kind of silly. Look at it. Maybe it's kind of funny to have a big fist, but no, I don't think that's worth those terrible stats. It's an awful weapon. That affinity in particular just makes it almost unusable, even with critical draw. Like, why would you? It's pathetic. Alright, let's see what's been put on the board, and then we'll equip something appropriate for that. Just Kurapeko, apparently. I suppose we'll bring Dragon's Roar. If you want to see an event weapon that's both worth using and very attractive visually, look no further than the Dragon's Roar Switch Axe. Whoops, I already had that equipped. Check this thing out. That is a good looking event weapon. Compare that to the stupid, bland looking thing we were just comparing the stats with the Sarah Symmetry to. Like, it's just... There is no comparison. This is a pretty cool weapon. The Eisenfaust can fuck off. That's interesting that for you, you found it much easier to kill Greatsword, or kill Deviljho with a Greatsword than with any other weapon type. I sort of agree that Deviljho does work very well with Greatsword, but I think there are other weapon types that are easy to use against Deviljho. I'd say Switch Axe is good for Deviljho because you've got those overhead axe swings to hit the stomach. Longsword's also okay. Those overhead swings of the longsword hit the stomach fairly easily. I mean, the point being that your weak point with the Deviljho is elevated. So if you're using something like a sword and shield, your only choice is to hit those little legs which are constantly moving around. Yes, you do eventually knock the monster down, but it's annoying because you're hitting something that isn't a weak point and it's still annoying to hit. So, dual blades and sword and shield are not appropriate. But switch axe, longsword, perfectly fine. Ranged combat, good as well. I agree that greatsword makes sense with Devil Joe and it's comfortable, but I don't think that's the only thing that's going to work with him. I definitely would have recommended that you try other weapon types. Because there are some that naturally work, but maybe they're not going to be automatically comfortable to use for you. It sort of depends on your exposure to those weapon types. What are we hunting again? I don't even know. It's Kurapeko. Very well. I've gone the long way, but I didn't know what we were hunting, so it's fine. Hopefully the monster's not dead by the time I get there. It was only relatively recently that I made this switch axe. I've been meaning to make it since I started the game, to be honest, but... yeah, took me a while. I just didn't spend much time doing that particular event quest. Sword mode's pretty cool as well. Ow. Doesn't matter, I can take the hit from a fucking Kurapeko, it doesn't really bother me. Oh, sorry, I'll keep away from Andres. There's a lot of action going on here. Well, again, I'd give Switch Axe and Longsword a try if you were hunting a Devil Joe. If this was your first Monster Hunter game, I'd recommend returning to it, it's a very good one. It's a fun game. It has a lot of problems, but every fucking Monster Hunter game has problems. So... just depends on where your priorities lie. What affects your experience when playing the game. I do feel bad for Andres because, you know, he's fighting a small monster, like a relatively small monster with 4 hunters crowding around it. It just doesn't make for good hammer usage. Hammer and lance are the 2 weapon types that get flinched the most by teammates, and yeah. There will be an element of contrition on my part if I'm constantly flinching this guy, but if he's using a weapon that's just a terrible choice, I'm not going to feel that bad about it. Buckfut is going for the capture, it looks like. Why? I've got no fucking idea. A valiant attempt? I understand why he was doing it. He was trying to ensure that the monster couldn't escape, thus capturing it here and then concluding the hunt, but the problem is that because he was going for the capture, I actually hesitated a bit. I decided not to go for the... what the fuck? Why there? Why are you over there? Oh, that is so annoying to get there. Whatever. Let's just kill this bastard. I'm surprised that he lasted as long as he did. I guess that means our team kind of sucks. Oh no, I know why. It's because we've got 2 people here effectively using high rank stuff. Actually, yeah, high rank stuff. I may as well carve. Whew. I don't know why I have become so bloodthirsty attacking Kelby like this. Do one without me back in 10 minutes, says Buckfut. very well. By the looks of it, we're just doing entry-level G ranks, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. I'm only going to do 1 or 2 more hunts anyway. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you played this game on 3DS. This game looks like a munted cartoon on that system. I'm sure you can appreciate what I mean, because you can see what it looks like on Wii U. It's very different. And better. There were things that they didn't do quite well when porting this game from 3DS to the Wii U, but still, looked better than the bloody 3DS version. Considerably so. Yeah, I'm starting to feel the dehydration of drinking straight spirits on a very hot day. Good God. Yeah, either locking on or using the on-screen D-pad on the bottom screen of the 3DS is required on the original 3DS to play this game. You know, the original 3DS, if you didn't have a Circle Pad Pro, and you should have gotten one, just terrible to play this game on. Just terrible. Monster Hunter is not designed for stock 3DS. At all. You need a Circle Pad Pro. There's no other option. Well, ice is still appropriate for this monster, and quite frankly, I was talking about these guys doing entry-level G-Rank, and we've just had a Rust Duramboros put on the board, which is not entry-level G-Rank. I am not impressed to see this. I'm going to have to use something strong. I suppose something slime, yeah. Let's just use a slime weapon. Something that's going to apply a lot of slime. Ideally. Alright, how about the Brachydios Gunlance? I like the sound of that. Which, by the way, is notably better than the Awaken alternative. Which is sad. It's such a standout weapon compared to that I would not use the... whatever it's called. The main raw Gunlance of Portable Third, I forgot what it's called. Just looking for Exchanger. I do like having Exchanger. It's a good thing. What is my Hunter rank? 546? We're slowly but surely getting through the 500s. I'm sure in time to come I will reach 600. You really need consistent and heavily sustained play to make any progress with your Hunter rank in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. It drags on and on and on, and I prefer it that way. I have to make it very clear, I like it when it's that way, because it means something. Being a high Hunter rank is actually a reflection of some real commitment. But then starting with 4 Ultimate, it just went down the drain. Totally went down the drain. Duramboros, he'll be over here. Ugh. Why am I drinking a hot drink? What's that about? What was it called? Tropical Hunter? That's right. Tropical Hunter. That's the skill that gives you more damage when you're in a hot location. It's not in this game, so yeah, no, we don't want that. Not even one slime application on that. It is actually beneficial to hit the legs during that, because it can knock him down. Just trying to get some slime build up here. Got two of us running slime, which is just going to speed things up a bit more than it would in other cases where, let's say for example, we're just going with pure raw damage or elemental effectiveness. It's not going to be helpful for those guys who are running high rank gear, and quite frankly, this monster has a lot of health, so it helps to have some broken slime damage. I do need to do a wyvern fire, actually. I love the sound of the heavy shot with this. Not just the heavy shot, it turns out any shelling with this gun lance has that lovely sound. I'm trying to think of what the sound reminds me of. It's a familiar sound effect. Oh. Yeah, soloing G-rank Elatrion is too much. That is not going to work. It is if you're very, very well optimized, but just with a standard loadout with even a decent level of skill. The health is designed for 4 hunters at endgame G-rank level. G-rank Elatrion is a proper Elder Dragon, as you would consider an Elder Dragon to be back in 2nd gen, you know. I love the sound of shelling with this gun lance, it's so good. It's very satisfying. And that was a bit dumb of me. Basically ran into the danger zone, trying to catch up with the monster as he moved. Wasn't great. Just trying to shield against Tremor if it is coming up. Fucking Christ, man! That was annoying. Anyway, it's difficult to describe. When you look at it, it might not look that bad, but God, when you're the one playing that, that is annoying. You're literally stuck in place. There's probably something you can do to get out of there, but unless you think in that moment to do it, you're literally stuck there, waiting for your opportunity, and then it never comes because you're stuck there. Would love to get a slime explosion, that would probably knock him down. Oh. Couldn't shield in time, unfortunately. Oh. Would have gone for my wyvern fire after that attack, but he ended up quite far away from me. Oh, fuck me. I did press the R button to shield, but it just didn't come out fast enough, unfortunately. Right. Wyvern fire. Doesn't matter what it hits, as long as it makes contact. That's the situation with Wyvern fire. It's set damage. I mean, that's shelling in general, but... Oh, fuck off. There we go, there's our knockdown. Hump opportunity. I will sharpen up, because I do have a decent amount of white here. Based on how long it took for me to have my white sharpness depleted, despite this being a gun lance that I was fairly regularly shooting, it should show that it is overall worthwhile to actually sharpen back up once I hit blue. Oh dear. That fucking 180. What's that about? You're too big to be doing things like that. Yeah, we've got a wyvern tier over there. Or a crying animation, whatever you want to call it. Again, couldn't shield in time. There is a guard up skill, yeah. And this is my loadout. Artillery expert, guard +2, razor sharp, guard boost. So yeah, basically all the skills you'd want. At least one sharpness skill, whether it be sharpness +1 or razor sharp, is pretty important. And then guard skills and obviously increasing shell damage. If you can't get all of that, you just have to determine what's more important to you. But yeah, this is probably the best loadout you can have, in my opinion. Anything beyond that would be extra, you know, a bonus. But this is your bread and butter gun lance skill set. If you don't want to make a mixed set, Steel Uragan is very good for gun lance. Very good. You can make very good loadouts by using decorations and talismans on a Steel Uragan, like a full Steel Uragan loadout. Oh, I didn't even notice we had a pitfall down. I'm almost certain that he's not capturable, but I'm just doing it for good measure. May as well attempt it. Yeah, without even mentioning the explosive slime beta, the general design of Brachydios weapons are very cool. Just look at this gun lance. It's this winged spike look to it. It's very nice. If I had actually evaded there, I wouldn't have had enough time to guard, so that was a calculated maneuver. But not one I always do, because I tend to just, by nature, evade and then try to guard. It just prevents my guarding because it delays that window. Or rather, it prolongs the window in which I can't guard, because I'm having to perform another animation after my attack. But yeah, you can tell this isn't exactly a Kurapeko. This is a strong, not even close to being entry-level G-rank monsters. So. Missed that, obviously. Don't think there needs to be much debate on whether or not I made contact. Ow, look at the speed of that. That comes out way too quickly for a monster of this size. It's fucking jaggy, baggy, rocky speed. And this monster's like 5 times the size. Probably more. But Engetsu, you probably were on a cursed table. You might not have been, you could have just been unlucky and maybe you didn't grind for enough talismans, but if you felt like you were getting really crap talismans and there were some really good ones around that you just never ever got despite grinding a lot for them, you may have been on a cursed table. How charm tables work is that traditionally, and this is beginning with Try, and it's this way for every single game except for this one, every time you launch the game, you will be locked into a charm table that is based on your system time, whether that be a computer, whether that be a console, doesn't matter, it's based on your system time. And for the entire time that you are logged into that instance, you will be on a particular charm table. There are good charm tables, there are bad ones. And those charm tables have different talismans that you can possibly receive, and they have to do that because otherwise it's just a way of managing an incredibly large number of possibilities when it comes to talisman acquisition. But in this game, for some reason, they actually lock the charm table when you make your character. So that time of day is actually going to permanently affect your charm table from the moment you actually create your character. So, yeah, real nice. So if you get on a bad table, you are actually stuck on that bad table. For the entire time that you play this game, there's no way to change it. The only way to change it is to make a new character. It's really bad. And it is definitely the most egregious and offensive mistake that Capcom made with this game. It was an absolute joke. No excuse whatsoever for that sort of thing. And it may have not even been a mistake. It may have been intentional. I wouldn't put anything past Capcom. It may have been intentional, unless Capcom came out and actually stated explicitly that was a mistake. I would not assume that it was a mistake, because Capcom do some absolutely incredible things that make no fucking sense, and that to us could only be interpreted as really, really debilitating for any person trying to play the game. But to Capcom, it's like, oh, this is great, this is a great idea. We're Capcom, we're literally retarded. Literally retarded. That's us. So, yeah, don't put anything past Capcom. Alright. Fucking hell. I think it's time to die, Duramboros. This has just been dragging on. His eyes are really creepy at the moment. I think because it's technically dark in here, so they are glowing. Are you going for a capture? It'll be a bit of a waste. Very good. It's always a good time to kill a Duramboros mid-spin. Oh my god, it's hot. Again, I think my body temperature just has decided to match the temperature of the room, and now I'm just functioning normally, but it's so hot. I'm not gonna carve. I've fought a lot of this monster. I'm happy that we managed to do that in less than 15 minutes though. I'd say that that was an achievement for 3 people, considering that 2 of the 3 hunters are really not level appropriate at all. That's what slime does to you, or does for you. Anyway, I think that is going to conclude our recording. I'm going to pick up these rewards and then I'm out of here. God, those are terrible rewards. After all that. horrendous. Really, really bad. That's hunter rank 450, no, 405. Yeah, I need to end the recording. 547. Swapping my numbers around. I do thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time I'm recording Monster Hunter, whether it be 3 Ultimate, Generations Ultimate, or perhaps a different one. But, yeah, that will conclude this live stream, and I bid you all farewell for now. Bye-bye.